Hello BookTube. Today for Tag Tuesday, I will be doing two tags, both end of the year book tags. I saw both of these tags done recently on Margaret Pinard's channel. She does live streams and will often do bundles of tags during her live streams. So the two end of the year book tags are the creations of Ariel Bissett and Kier the Scrivener. I'll leave links to uh, both the channels in the show notes down below, as well as to Margaret Pinard's channel and copies of the two tags, designated as either Ariel Bissett's or Kier the Scrivener's. And I think Margaret added a bonus tag or a bonus prompt to Ariel Bissett's, so I will add that one myself, and probably, although I might not add it to the prompt itself. Anyway, let's get going. So starting with Ariel Bissett's version of the tag. Question number 1. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? No. When I start a book, I read that book until I finish it. So by the end of the year, whatever book I need to finish is the last book I'm going to be reading at the end of the year. Question number 2. Do you have and as far as books that I would like to get to before the end of the year, I'm in an unsettled situation with my reading. My reading week so far has not been all that great, except for the manga that I've been reading. So I don't know exactly what books outside of manga I'm planning on reading for the rest of the year, because I am a bit down right now. Prompt number 2. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Normally, I use nonfiction, namely history. But again, my my non-manga reading the last few weeks has been rather disappointing. So, not entirely sure if I can recommend anything right now. Prompt number 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Yes, several. So I follow a number of manga series, and there are several forthcoming releases in many of them. So I'm looking forward to 2 volumes of Eden Zero by Hiro Mishima, although I think one of them will probably not get to me until the end of or the beginning of next year, because I pre-ordered those from Book People in Austin, and they usually take about a week to maybe almost 2 weeks before they send pre-orders out. But there's 2 forthcoming volumes of Eden Zero. I think there are 2 forthcoming volumes of My Hero Academia coming out, although I could be wrong on that. There's 1 volume of by Kohei Horikoshi, and then there's a volume of Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Utami coming out, a volume of Toroban Hanaka-kun by Ida Iro coming out, and one of Demons of the Shadow Realm by Hiromu Arakawa that I'm really looking forward to. And I might add some others as my mood wants. As far as not manga books that are in the pipeline, I have been a bit torn between some forthcoming works of history and some forthcoming cookbooks. And I've been thinking about making a video about that. So there was Pax by Tom Holland that came out about a week or two ago. And then there's Emperor of Rome by Mary Beard and The New Roman Empire by Anthony Caldelas. And then the cookbooks, I've been thinking about Basics with Babish by Andrew Rea, who's on YouTube as Babish. There's also Start Here by Soleil Whaley and several other cookbooks. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do, and that's kind of making me a bit down. I'll probably go with the cookbooks, but there are quite a few that I want, and I don't know if I could really justify the cost of them. As far as other things, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see and what my mood is. Prompt number 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So, excluding the forthcoming volumes of manga, which I pretty much plan to read once they come in. I'm planning to finish up a Demon Slayer by Koyoharu Gutoge, because I've got about 11 volumes left, and I have the last 4 incoming. So once I have the final 11 or these final 4 in, I'll read the rest of the series, and I'm loving it so far. Outside of that, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about reading Revolutionary Spring by Christopher Clark, Middle Kingdoms by Matthew Ratty, I think that's his name. Beyond the Wall by Katya Hoyer, and other things. But I'll let the mood decide rather than making settled plans. Prompt number 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? It's entirely possible. Is there one that's immediately leaping to mind? Maybe Revolutionary Spring if I get on with it. But that's maybe the only one. But it's got mighty ways to go, because so far I think my favorite book that isn't manga this year is Beyond the Wall by Rachel Crestel. Not Did I just say Beyond the Wall? I meant Bismarck's War by Rachel Crestel. Prompt number 6. Have you already started making reading plans for next year? No, I haven't. I've been thinking of either following along with the various booktube events or but I don't know. I'm not having the best of luck with with coinciding my reading with booktube events. So I don't know if I should just read as the mood takes me or what. I don't know. I'll probably report back towards the end of the year what my reading plans are. If I'm going to follow along with booktube events or create my own personal reading goals or what. And so Margaret Pinard's bonus question for this tag was, are there any books she wanted to remove from her collection, to purge, to unhaul? And I'm not going to unhaul any books before the end of the year, but I am thinking seriously about starting some unhaul boxes to start kind of clearing out my collection. Because I think I'm going to try every year to get rid of maybe about 100 books, give or take, so that I can clear some space, because I am starting to run out of space everywhere except for manga. But that'll come like toward the beginning of next year, and although I will be starting to look. So I might be doing some bill redemptions in November and December to sort of decide what fiction and what nonfiction I want to get rid of. And then I will report back when I do the unhaul or the unhaul videos, because if they're a large number like that 100, it'll be multiple videos. So that was the first end of the year book tag created by Ariel Bissett. Next up is the end of the year book tag by Kier, the Scrivener. Prompt number 1. How did you feel about this reading year? You can choose an adjective or expand. So my reading year has been contradictory. It's been in many ways wonderful and in many ways disappointing. So to break it down by genre or by section of my library, my manga reading has been fantastic. There have been a few duds, but for the most part, I have absolutely loved pretty much every work of manga I've read. It's been amazing. But that's not true for the other parts of my collection. My history reading has been okay. There have been some spectacular reads, but there have also been some frustrating misses. My poetry reading has been okay, but not spectacular, and heavily rereading poetry collections that I really enjoy. The literary fiction has been atrocious. I think I managed to finish so far 2 works of literary fiction. One was okay, the other was poo. Science fiction and fantasy, I don't think I managed to finish a single novel. So that's been disappointing. Prompt number 2. What are 2 phases authors you went through this year? So, I don't think there's any single author I made a dedicated effort to read all of their work this year. I had thought about maybe Hiro Mishima, but because I've collected all of Fairy Tale and working my way through Eden Zero, but I haven't kind of picked up anything else by him. So yeah. Prompt number 2. What are 2? Oh wait, I already did that. Prompt number 3. What is the book you regret not reading? I don't know. Is there a book? I guess maybe The Middle Kingdoms by Matthew Reddy. I haven't gotten to that one yet, and I kind of wish I had gotten to it sooner rather than later. Also, Indivisible by Joel Richard Paul is kind of giving me the side eye, and maybe a few others. Prompt number 4. What is something you learned from reading this year? I don't think I really learned anything new. Prompt number 5. What is a book you wished you talked about more often? I would say probably, I don't know. I can't think of one. Okay. Prompt number 6. What is a non-bookish highlight, movie, show, song, podcast, etc.? I've really gotten into K-pop this year. So for a long time, I'd been following BTS, who are the most popular boy band from Korea. And late last year, I first started listening to Stray Kids, who are amazing and are beginning to, I think, make a more global impact. and I've been really following them this year alongside Tomorrow by Together and Extraordinary Heroes. As far as movies and shows, I pretty much only just watch BookTube. Problem number 7. What is the greatest outlier in your books? I don't know. Guess maybe my general nonfiction, because I don't have much, and probably are going to get decimated when I do my next unhaul. Then again, maybe the same could be true of the general genre fiction, which is all Agatha Christie all the time. But anyway. Problem number 8. What book are you most excited to revisit? Probably, I think all of the manga. But I think right now, having come off of finishing up The Seven Deadly Sins by Nakaba Suzuki, I really am looking forward to a reread of that series in a year or two. But I could say the same for like Fairy Tale and Fullmetal Alchemist and My Hero Academia and Eden Zero and on and on. Prompt number 9. What video are you most proud of? So a few months ago, I did a massive tour of my manga collection. I had done a manga tour earlier in the year when I did a library tour, but this one was just solely dedicated to manga, and I had expanded my manga collection immensely since then, and it was like over an hour long, and it was tremendous fun. Exhausting, but fun to make. Prompt number 10. What is your favorite last line of a book? I don't have one. The bonus. Is there a creator or video you'd like to shout out? Not really. So yeah, this was the end of the year book tag, or 2 of them. Again, I'll leave links to the creators and to Margaret Pinard and copies of the prompts in the show notes. So anyway, BookTube, I need to go start supper and probably maybe engage in some retail therapy. So until I see you tomorrow with probably another tag, because there are several interesting tags that are making the rounds right now. So I really would like to do them. Thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.